Welcome to the coolest brain tour ever. So, what is autism really? You've probably heard the word. Maybe a teacher said it. Maybe someone gave you a diagnosis. Maybe you've just been wondering why certain things feel harder or different for you than other people. Let's talk about it clearly. No confusing jargon, no outdated ideas, just a real explanation that actually makes sense. This is NeuroDoodles, where we doodle out what's going on in your brain and why it actually makes total sense. Autism is a way of describing how some people's brains work. It's not a disease, it's not something you catch, it's a difference in how your brain is wired, how it takes in information, how it makes sense of the world, and how it reacts to it. Autistic brains often notice more, feel things more strongly, and need more time to process stuff like social rules, emotions, or changes. Some people call it a neurodevelopmental difference, which is just a fancy way of saying that your brain developed in a different but totally valid way. You cannot tell that someone is autistic by looking at them. There's no one type of autistic person. Some people talk a lot, some don't talk at all. Some are great at maths, others hate numbers. Autism doesn't mean you're the same as every other autistic person. What it does mean is that your brain is wired to work differently. It might be harder to understand people's faces or tone of voice, you might miss social clues or be super sensitive to sounds, lights or textures. But none of that makes you broken. It just makes you autistic. One big difference is in how autistic people process sensory input. Stuff like noise, smell, light, or touch. Your brain might treat everyday sounds like alarms or feel clothing as scratchy when others don't notice it at all. Another difference is in communication. You might find it hard to guess what someone is thinking just from their body language or voice. That's not because you don't care. It's because your brain might not automatically decode those signals. And that's a brain thing, not a personality thing. There are challenges, sure, but there are also strengths. Autistic people often have a great memory for detail. They can focus deeply on things they care about and are usually very honest and loyal. Your brain might be good at spotting patterns, understanding systems, or thinking creatively. And no, you don't need to be a genius to have strengths. You just need a brain that processes the world in a different, sometimes powerful way. As someone with autism, you may feel emotions very strongly, even if it doesn't look like it on the outside. You might cry or explode over something small, or you might go quiet when you're upset. That doesn't mean you're being dramatic, you're not being rude. It just means that your nervous system is reacting with full force. Sometimes, feelings come so fast that your body reacts before your brain catches up. That's called emotional dysregulation, and it's super common in autism. You're not alone in that. Social rules can be really confusing. You might not know when it's your turn to talk or how to jump into a conversation. You might take things literally or not get a joke unless it's explained. That doesn't mean you're socially behind, it just means your brain doesn't use the same shortcuts. The truth is, neurotypical social rules aren't always logical. Autistic people often prefer honest, direct communication, and that's actually a great thing. You're not bad at socializing, you just do it differently. If you've ever felt wiped out after school or after you've been hanging out with your friends, that's not laziness. That could be a sign of autistic burnout. When your brain is working overtime to process so much information, noise, faces, expectations, it can use up a lot of energy really fast. Masking or hiding your autistic traits to fit in also uses a ton of brain power. If you feel like you're acting all day and need time alone to recover, that's a real and valid need and not something to feel guilty about. Getting diagnosed doesn't change who you are, it just gives you a language for what's been going on all along. It helps you understand yourself better and gives you access to supports that might actually work for your brain. A diagnosis isn't a box, it's a flashlight. It helps you see things more clearly and gives other people clues on how to support you better. Autism isn't good or bad, it's a way of just being in the world. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's awesome. Most of the time, it's a mix. But it's real, it's valid, and it's just part of who you are. You don't need to change your brain to fit the world. You can learn how your brain works and build a world that fits you. This is NeuroDoodles. We get brains like yours. Come back anytime.